Throughout history, many civilizations have fallen apart and disappeared. Some were destroyed by wars, fights within their own people, natural disasters, and other problems. We do know a lot about how many of them eventually disappeared, but there are others that are still a mystery. Even with all of our research and modern technology, some civilizations just seem to suddenly vanish, and we have no idea how. Today, we're going to explore 5 of these mysterious disappearances. The Indus Valley Civilization was one of the world's earliest and most advanced urban societies, emerging from around 3300 to 1300 BC in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. Its major cities, such as Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were complete masterpieces of urban planning. These cities boasted sophisticated infrastructure, including carefully designed drainage systems that rivaled modern standards, grand public baths that may have been used for ritual purposes, and a system of standardized weights and measures that suggest a highly organized economy. They had a complex written language, which is still undeciphered to this day. Found on thousands of seals, pottery, and tablets, their script is made up of symbols, animals, and geometric patterns. Unlike Egyptian hieroglyphs, no Rosetta Stone has been found to help modern researchers decode their writings. This has left us with a glimpse of their culture and economy, but no clear understanding of their beliefs or history. By around 1900 BC, this great civilization began to decline. Its once thriving cities were gradually abandoned, and its influence faded into history. The reasons for this collapse remain one of archaeology's greatest puzzles. One prominent theory suggests that climate change played a significant role. Studies of ancient riverbeds indicate that the Sarasvati River, once a vital source of water for the civilization, may have dried up or shifted course due to tectonic activity. Such a change would have been devastating to the agriculture, making it difficult for the population to sustain itself. Another theory points to the possibility of invasions by nomadic tribes, such as the Indo-Aryans, who might have entered the region during this time. However, archaeological evidence does not support large-scale warfare or widespread destruction. Instead, the absence of fortifications and mass graves suggests that the decline of the Indus Valley Civilization was likely gradual rather than the result of a single sudden violent event. Evidence of deforestation and soil erosion indicate that the civilization's agricultural practices might have strained the environment over time, leading to a severe decline in crop yields. This could have caused a slow but steady depopulation of their cities as people moved in search for more fertile lands. Perhaps one day, with new discoveries or advancements in technology, we'll unlock the secrets of why exactly this civilization went away. Until then, the fall of the Indus Valley Civilization remains a mystery. The Rapa Nui people of Easter Island are renowned for their extraordinary moai statues, towering stone figures carved from volcanic rock that continue to fascinate visitors and researchers alike. Standing a silent vigilance along the island's coastline, these statues were not just for decoration, but deeply tied to the Rapa Nui's religious and social beliefs. They were likely created to honor ancestors or deities and to assert the power and prestige of different clans. Living on one of the most remote islands in the world, the Rapa Nui developed an impressive society that thrived for centuries. But their achievements extended beyond the moai. They practiced advanced agricultural techniques, including the use of manavai, circular stone enclosures that protected crops from harsh winds and conserved moisture. They cultivated crops like sweet potatoes, taro, and bananas in an environment with limited natural resources. The Rapa Nui also developed a sophisticated social system with hierarchical structures and roles for chiefs, priests, and workers. The moai construction and transportation alone is clear evidence that their coordination and cooperation were significantly advanced. However, by the 18th century, this thriving society had dramatically declined. The iconic moai statues, some of which weigh up to 80 tons, were left unfinished in the quarries, and the population had dwindled to a fraction of its peak. One widely discussed theory is ecological collapse. Researchers believe the Rapa Nui may have overexploited their environment, cutting down trees to clear land for farming build canoes, and transport the massive Moai statues. As the island's forest disappeared, so did its ability to support the population. Without trees, the Rapa Nui faced soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and reduced crop yields. The lack of wood also meant no canoes for fishing, depriving them of a vital food source. Some suggest that this environmental decline led to the famine, social unrest, and ultimately the collapse of their society. Others argue that the decline was not entirely self-inflicted, but exacerbated by external factors. When Europeans arrived on the island in the early 18th century, they brought devastating diseases like smallpox and tuberculosis, to which the Rapa Nui had no immunity. European contact also introduced slavery. In the 19th century, Peruvian slave traders captured and deported thousands of Rapa Nui, decimating the population and further dismantling their society. The introduction of foreign animals like rats may have also played a role. Rats could have eaten the seeds of the native palm trees, preventing forest regrowth and accelerating deforestation. Some researchers suggest that internal conflicts and wars might have contributed to the island's decline. Oral traditions tell of rival clans toppling each other's Moai statues as a form of warfare or political protest. Archaeological evidence, including sharpened obsidian tools known as mata, suggests that violent conflicts may have occurred during the island's later years. However, this theory is debated, with some arguing that the mata could have been used for farming rather than fighting. While ongoing research continues to uncover new details about their lives, the Rapa Nui people and their enigmatic Moai statues stand as a testament to human ingenuity, creativity, and the fragility of civilization. The Minoans are often thought as one of Europe's first civilizations. They lived on the island of Crete. A lot about them is unclear, but from evidence we found, we know they were very advanced. They had skilled workers, artists, and architects. The Minoans also traded with other civilizations around the Mediterranean. Their artists were so talented that even Egypt hired them to paint frescoes. The Minoans left behind lots of pottery, statues, and other amazing artwork. They built incredible palaces, the most famous one being at Knossos. This palace had Europe's first paved roads and running water. One mystery is the language they spoke. Over time, they developed two writing systems called the Cretan hieroglyphs and Linear A. However, no one has fully figured out what these writings mean yet. What we do know is that their language wasn't like any language we're familiar with today. The biggest mystery, though, is what happened to the Minoans. Around 1500 BC, their society began to fall apart and eventually disappeared. For a while, people thought that they were part of a bigger collapse of the later Bronze Age, but their civilization ended a few hundred years too early for that. One possible cause is a huge volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, now called Santorini. This eruption was massive and might have caused tsunamis, covered their land in ash, and destroyed their crops. All of this could have led to the collapse of their society. However, new evidence shows that there wasn't as much ash as we thought, and the wind may have blown it away from Crete. Plus, clay tablets show that the Minoan life may have continued for at least 50 years after the eruption. Some evidence shows that the Minoans were still building big projects even after the volcano erupted, which doesn't match the idea of a civilization completely destroyed. This has led to a theory that the volcanic eruption didn't wipe them out instantly, but instead caused long-term environmental problems. These problems might have made life harder and harder over the years, eventually forcing the Minoans to leave Crete. However, not everyone agrees with this idea. Some historians believe that the volcano wasn't the main cause at all. They point to evidence of destruction around the island that doesn't seem to match what a natural disaster would do. For example, the town of Knossos was burned to the ground, but its palace was left untouched. A natural disaster like a volcano or earthquake would have destroyed everything. But if there was a war, it's possible the attackers left the palace standing because it was sacred. Right now, we don't have all the answers. Maybe if we can fully understand the written record someday, we'll learn more about what really happened. For now though, the fall of the Minoans remains a mystery. The Maya civilization flourished in Mesoamerica for approximately 250 to 900 CE, during a period often referred to as the Classic Maya era. Renowned for their cultural, intellectual, and architectural achievements, the Maya developed some of the most advanced systems of their time. They built sprawling cities such as Tikal, Palenque, and Copan in the southern lowlands, as well as Chichen Itza and Uxmal in the northern Yucatan Peninsula. Their cities, featuring towering pyramids, ground palaces, ceremonial ball courts, and intricate networks of reservoirs and canals to manage water resources, were marvels of urban planning. The Maya were also unparalleled in their knowledge of astronomy and mathematics. They created highly accurate calendars, such as the long count, which tracked time in vast cycles, and their understanding of celestial movements were very sophisticated. Their advanced numerical system, which included the concept of zero, enabled them to perform complex calculations. These intellectual feats supported a rich spiritual tradition where astronomy and mathematics intertwined with religious beliefs and rituals. Despite their successes, the Maya faced challenges that led to the abandonment of many cities in the southern lowlands around 900 CE, an event often referred to as the classic Maya collapse. This decline has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries, and while no single explanation has been universally accepted, several theories have emerged to shed light on this mystery. One of the leading theories is environmental stress. Research indicates that prolonged droughts may have played a significant role in the collapse. The Maya relied heavily on seasonal rainfall to support their agriculture, especially the cultivation of maize, beans, and squash. Evidence from lake sediments suggests that the region experienced severe and recurrent droughts during this period. Without sufficient rain, crops would have failed, leading to widespread famine and social unrest. Deforestation may have also played a role. The Maya cleared vast tracts of forest to create farmland, build cities, and produce lime plaster for their temples and monuments. This large-scale deforestation could have led to soil erosion, reduced agricultural yields, and exacerbated the effects of drought. Over time, the loss of natural resources may have made it increasingly difficult for the Maya to sustain their population in urban centers. Warfare and internal conflict are also believed to have contributed to the collapse. Archaeological evidence, including fortifications and burned structures, suggests that the period was marked by intense rivalries and conflicts between city-states. As resources grew scarcer, competition for arable land and access to water may have fueled these wars, destabilizing the region further. Political infighting and the breakdown of central authority likely weakened the ability of Maya rulers to maintain control and address the mounting crises. Societal unrest is another factor that may have played a role. The Maya civilization was highly stratified, with an elite class of kings, priests, and nobles ruling over commoners and laborers. As resources dwindled and hardships increased, the rigid societal hierarchy may have caused tensions to boil over. There is evidence that some cities experienced revolts or the overthrow of ruling dynasties, as indicated by changes in the inscriptions and the abrupt cessation of monumental construction. Interestingly, while the southern Maya cities were abandoned, their civilization did not disappear entirely. The northern cities, such as Chichen Itza and Uxmal, continued to thrive for centuries after the classical period. These cities adapted to different environmental and social conditions, maintaining the Maya cultural legacy until the arrival of Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. Even today, the descendants of the Maya continue to inhabit the region, preserving their language, traditions, and heritage. The classic Maya collapse remains an unresolved puzzle, but it is likely that a combination of factors – environmental degradation, climate change, warfare, and societal issues – led to the decline of the southern lowland cities. The fall of these urban centers serves as a testament to the complexity and fragility of human societies, even those as extraordinary as the Maya. This being said, all of this is just a theory, and their disappearance remains a mystery. Now, Central and South America weren't just home to jungle-dwelling tribes as once portrayed, but to advanced civilizations that thrive in the pre-Columbian era. Due to a lack of written records, it's difficult to estimate how many people lived there before European contact, but recent discoveries challenge old assumptions. For example, in 2024, researchers uncovered an ancient city in the Amazon that had been hidden beneath vegetation for thousands of years. This city had paved roads, garden canals, and evidence of a population of up to 100,000 people. Early European explorers like Gaspar de Carvajal described seeing vast settlements and advanced societies as they navigated the Amazon River. However, his accounts were dismissed for centuries as exaggerations or outright fabrications, partly due to the racist belief that the region's inhabitants were too primitive to build such societies. Modern technology, especially LiDAR, has proven Carvajal's accounts were far from exaggerated. Using lasers to scan areas obscured by dense vegetation, researchers have uncovered thousands of structures across the Amazon. These include pottery shards, tools, rock art, and even evidence of interconnected fortified settlements stretching over 1,000 miles. One estimate suggests that over 1 million people lived in just 7% of the Amazon rainforest, far surpassing the earlier estimates of 2 million for the entire region. Some researchers now believe that the total pre-Columbian population of the Amazon could have exceeded 20 million people. Despite this thriving civilization, nearly all of these populations vanished within just a few decades of European arrival. By the 1900s, the region's population had plummeted to about 200,000, suggesting that up to 99% of the population was wiped out. The primary cause was disease. Early European explorers introduced old-world diseases like smallpox to which the indigenous populations had no immunity. Given how interconnected these societies were, these diseases spread rapidly and devastated entire regions before direct contact with Europeans ever occurred. While genocide and conquest also contributed, especially in Central America, disease moved far faster than warfare, killing millions and erasing vibrant civilizations almost overnight. Tragically, these societies left behind few records, and their history remains a mystery, hidden beneath the rainforest and only now being rediscovered with modern tools. Now, while this region can be tied to a specific civilization, it is fair to say that a lot of people were wiped out by disease and possibly warfare. In the end, all these civilizations remind us that humans are incredibly apt to build, create incredible societies and advancements, but nothing lasts forever. I don't think they ever thought that their time would come, just as we think that our time will never come. Maybe we should take a look at history and realize that we're not very far from this. Thank you so much for joining me for today's tale. If you had fun or learned anything, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and also share this video with someone else. It's a very small button for you and a gigantic leap for my channel. Until the next tale, farewell, and may the gods smile upon you.